Hi, this is Rana, and today I have a layout for the Iron Crafters Challenge and also for 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life Series 19. This is the sketch that I'm using. It was actually from day 12. It is no longer day 12, but I'm trying to go back and use a few of the sketches that I missed that I really wanted to use, and this was one of them. I am going to be using some metal mesh. Our prompt for Iron Crafters is metal. So I'm going to use some of this metal mesh. It was for making memories from years and years and years ago. I'm going to be using kind of a hodgepodge of products here. The metal mesh, and I'm going to use this wood grain. There was a wood grain on the sketch. It was at the bottom. I know I want to use my mesh at the bottom, so I'm going to be using my wood grain at the top. And this was a Simple Stories one, and it was the right size. I am doing, this is a 6x8, I believe. Let me just check. Actually, it measures 6.5. 6.5 by 8. The 6.5 by 8 book, and this is my chicken book. And so I printed out, the sketch called for either one 4x6 or two 3x4s. And I have a 4x6 there, and I was going to use one 4x6, but I end up, it was going to take up too much space because this is such a smaller format. I'm going to end up using a 3.5 by 5 inch photo. I just reprinted it. It doesn't matter because I haven't done these pictures in the boys' books yet either. So I can still use that photo, and I print my pictures at home. So it was real easy just to go ahead and print another one, just printing it smaller. So I'm using some Distress Oxide ink for the bottom here. This one is Mowed Lawn, and I'm going to come in Mowed Lawn for that one. And then this one, oh, that was so fast. I cannot remember. It's a Christmassy one. No, is that right? I will put the name of it in the description box below. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it. I want to say Lumberjack Plaid because I think it came out near that same time, but I think the Lumberjack Plaid might have been the red, and this one is the green. Anyway, like I said, I'll put it in the description box. Then I came in with some stencil butter, and I just wanted some brush marks. So I used a dry brush and just dabbed it in there and brushed it on so I would have, just a little bit more texture. And all of that is going to go under the mesh anyway, so it's not going to show up real well, but I was looking for just, little fun mixed media down there. I'm going to add this rub-on here. And then I've got two more rub-ons picked out for the top. They are all three from the 49 and Market Countryside, I believe is the name of the collection. And there's lots of chickens and things in this collection, and so I've got that set aside for my chicken book. I will probably use some of it also when I'm doing the kids' pages in their books as well. But for my little 6x8 book, I don't care. My chickens are all girls, so I don't care how many flowers I put on it. I didn't in this page, but I will be using more florals on pages, even though the boys are on them in my chicken book, just because, I want to, and it's my book. It's not going into theirs. So I was looking it kind of looks like in the sketch there are three pieces of paper. The middle is just kind of blank. So maybe it was like plain white and then there were three layers of paper. Mine is not going to end up with that. It's just the wood grain and then the plain paper that I added some texture to with my mixed media. And I think that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly like the sketch. And I did take my inspiration from the sketch. And I think you can see that as you're looking at the layout. But it's not going to be exactly the same as hers. You know, for one, I'm using a 6x8, and so it's already going to look different because it's not a square, it's a rectangle. I'm using these brads, also part of the metal. They are going to be perfect to hold this metal mesh down. And so I chose um, 5 brads, and I'm going to put those in areas where, one, I think it looks nice as an embellishment, but two, it's also going to hold it down but not look like that was the purpose of the brad, if that makes any sense. I wanted it to look nice and look like it was, just kind of some random brads on there, but also, it is going to play that secondary part of holding the mesh in place. Now, when I add my title in a little bit, I'm going to glue it down with some glue dots and then also add glue dots behind the mesh. So that is another added place for adhesive so that it will stay down even better. And it was in the one area where there were no brads. So that's going to work out perfect. I like that chicken there, but I end up not going with it because they're at the time that we were making this little chicken house, that they were just tiny little chicks. So I just really didn't want a full-grown um, chicken on my page of just working on the chicken house. So you can see all 3, um, my grandsons and my husband in this chicken house that was it's a tiny little chicken house, and all 3 of them fit in there, and he was putting some stakes down just to secure it so that it wouldn't blow over with a strong wind or anything like that. There's some we did dig down, and there were some added security for predators as well, but he was just making sure that it was good and secure, and they all had to get in there for the picture, which they thought was hilarious. So it's all about the pictures, right? I did use the mesh that I used is actually a square mesh instead of what you would think of as chicken wire. And I did that because the mesh on the chicken house is also that same squares. So that's why I ended up doing that instead of the chicken wire that you would normally see on chicken pages. So I found this little tag. It was also from the 49 and Market Countryside. And I am adding I don't know, I guess I kind of have two titles here. So this is going to say finishing touches, and then the little chipboard title says country life. I feel like the finishing touches describes what the photo is about, because they are just they've already built it. There's going to be another page where I have a few pictures of them building this, because it was just a little kit that we got from, I don't know, Rural King or something like that, Buckeyes. I can't really remember where we got it now. One of the farm stores, and so they put the whole thing together, and the boys just had a great time helping Grandpa do that, and they were excited about these chickens, and it was all, kind of Grayson's idea and really wanting these chickens, and he has a great love for the chickens. He really did at this point. Now he's doing other things as well, but he still does really like the chickens. So I also have some metal in the tools, and those were from Some Assemblage Required, and they are newer. They're not an older product. That is a newer one. But the brads and the metal mesh, I felt like I pulled those out of my stash, and I was really happy to get those used on here, and I think they look appropriate and fun. So that is my layout today. I really appreciate you being here. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.